Good morning.
1 o'clock in the morning. Getting better this week. In order for us to travel to 50 states in 50 weeks in an RV next year, we need an RV.
And we really haven't had time to research which one's the best because we've been spending all of our time trying to get our house on the market. We did find a little bit of time to carve out to research. We'd love your help too. So let us know if you agree with what we found because we obviously need a little bit more time to work on this. What I originally wanted was a Class C motorhome. And the reasons I wanted a Class C motorhome is because it seemed so simple. It's one thing to take. And since we're moving so fast paced, I just want one thing to worry about. And I also wanted the luxury of having our own bathroom and kitchen wherever we go. And that to me, especially right now, was super interesting and intriguing. And I just loved that idea. But Chris was not as on board.
Well, the problem with that is if you had this one motorhome and it breaks down, it's going to be in the shop, broken down, and you can't use it. If you had something different, like a truck, then there's a possibility that you could have your trailer being fixed, or not the trailer, sorry, the truck being fixed, but you can still have that motorhome and have a repair car while your other car is getting fixed.
I do not want to be stranded and the side of the road, especially right now with 2 kids. That doesn't sound appealing. And motorhome repairs we read were super costly in comparison. So that was also a deterrent. So
and some of those older motorhomes,
which are the ones that we were looking into,
are gas guzzlers. They suck up gas.
Right. So that also was definitely on the con list. And although I was completely 100% excited about that, and we already even thought of some names, or at least I did, I can definitely see why it wouldn't be the best option for us. So we've kind of gone away from that. The next option that I looked into that I was, again, very excited about was the travel trailer. And the reasons I really like the travel trailer, again, is because it doesn't look gigantic. That was a plus for me because I am terrified to drive an RV. I liked that many of them had really nice layouts for families, like bunk houses. And I also really liked that we could drive it with an SUV instead of buying a big, huge truck, again, because I don't know how well I will do driving a big, huge truck and RV. And actually one of our friends is doing something very similar to us, Troy, and he said that's a great option for you guys. So I thought that would be a really interesting, intriguing option for us. But then again, Chris had some feedback on that.
Well, I just think that if we're going to be pulling something, the safer option is to get a truck.
Because it doesn't sway as much.
Because, a truck with a 5th wheel.
Yeah, because that doesn't sway as much. I did read that it's not great for full-time travel because even though they've come a long way with the newer models of the travel trailers, they still tend to sway a lot more than, like you said, like a 5th wheel. And safeties, obviously with 2 kids, are #1 priority, so.
And if we're gonna be switching out driving, which I imagine we probably will if we're driving long distances, you probably wanna feel safe yourself driving.
Yeah.
And I think
I'm already getting high thinking about that.
The travel trailer might not be the best option for you.
I guess not. Which leads us to the 5th wheel. The one RV that I wanted absolutely 100% nothing to do with when I first started looking at these. Oh my gosh, they just look like these big mammoth things. They give me hives even looking at them because they're so gigantic. They're beautiful, but I mean, just like thinking about driving with them, that is so terrifying to me. But it was really nice. People started reaching out to us. People called us. We received some messages, and people kept saying, you gotta take this seriously because it's probably the best for you guys for full-time travel. And I see where they're coming from. What like we talked about as far as being the easiest to tow because there's a lot more security. I am not a huge, it's not a deal breaker for me as far as space. That didn't really, I could live in a very small space. But I think that with the transition with the kids, don't you think they'll kind of like having space?
I think the kids will appreciate having more space, especially with some of those fifth wheels that have the pop outs. The ones that, you know, have that big pop out on the side. I mean, I don't know, I think we will appreciate the space. I know you were saying it's not a deal breaker right now, but give it time. When we're traveling and we're on the road with two little boys and we want a little bit of space in this place, I think you're gonna appreciate having that pop out on the fifth wheel. Because
to me, I just want to spend like all of our time outside and even doing work and school. I get that there's rainy days and some bad weather and we'll have to be indoors. But I just have this idea that it's kind of our mode of transportation. I just want to get going. However, I see where you're coming from and where you're coming from, and I get it. And I think it would be nice, especially Jonah with our virtual school routine, to have his own little space, and the kids, I think it would be easier on them because it's a big deal to them to sell the only house they've ever known, to move into an RV. So I think if they can have their own little bunker, whatever, own little space that they can decorate, that's also really nice. And
filling up this thing, obviously just fill up the truck, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna drive a big motorhome into a gas station to fill up. You have a truck the night before, you fill up the truck, and then you haven't got to worry about taking this giant thing to the gas station. And
I did reach out to a family. They actually have 7 kids and they travel full time in their fifth wheel. And I reached out to them and said, okay, given the current situation, can I still use the bathroom? If I pulled over, I do not want to use a gas station bathroom. And they said that they do this all the time. And they, even with the pop-out slit, and they have enough room to get in there, go to the bathroom. If they really want to, they can grab some stuff in there, grab some food. So it's a safe option, just like one of the reasons that I wanted the Class C Motorhome. So I can't even believe I'm saying it, but we're really leaning towards a fifth wheel.
But we are still looking for your advice, and we really appreciate any advice that you have. Should we be going with the fifth wheel, leaning towards the fifth wheel, or is there a better option that you think we should be leaning towards for full-time family travel in an RV?
Comment down below, please. Thank you so much for following us on our journey. We'll see you next week.
Adios.